It has been a number of days since you were attacked by Rafiq and his thugs. You awaken to find Nero busy at work perfecting her cure for vampirism. She greets you with a smile and beckons you into the kitchen where food is awaiting for you on a wooden platter. She explains that she has worked throughout the period tending to your wounds. She now feels you are healed enough to move onwards on your journey. She seems to be holding something back from you, it seems. And Loretta is nowhere to be seen, although Anira informs you she is on the road carrying out some form of official business. She does not seem troubled by this, and she does advise you not to stray too far from Kalle. Your safety, it seems, depends on your staying. After you've eaten, you decide it's time to go for a walk. You feel a strange sense of calm and tranquility about you. The anxiety of the previous days has disappeared, and you feel a new fresh sense of confidence about you. It seems true that the healers can really work positive magic onto their patients. Feeling like a different person, you walk out of the house and into the street. It's at this moment you find yourself in the presence of a well-dressed figure. He carries the hallmarks of an entertainer, though you know he is not from the troupe, for he is not vampire in appearance. Nor does he leave you with a sense of dread.
Well, well, what have we here? A lost soul wandering the streets of Kalle, without it seems a care in the world? No? To be honest, my friend, you look as if you have the entire weight of the world on your shoulders. Care to tell me the problem? Cat got your tongue, eh? Never mind. Allow me to introduce myself. Aric. Aric the Bard, at your service. Oh, so you've heard of me. I'm delighted to hear it. At least you Ondarian folk are more cultured than you first appear to be. Don't give me that look. The reputation of your kinsfolk precedes you, and in all honesty, it's not a pretty visualization. Excuse me? What do you mean? What exactly is a bard? We are wandering entertainers. Some know us as minstrels, though, if you wish for that sort of thing, you need a musician. There is often confusion between the two. I cannot play an instrument, nor can I sing. I am a poet and a storyteller. My art form is the spoken word. Would you like to hear a tale? I know just the one. The tale of the Tyrant King. That's always a popular story. However, by the look on your face, you don't wish to hear that one. Oh. Yes, I see. Well, you are truly an unlucky person if this news is indeed accurate. You have been struck by misfortune, it seems. Well, no matter. Then, in that case... let's see. Poetry. Always time for poetry. Perhaps if I can come up with something on the spot. Now, let's see. What do I have in my extensive repertoire of original works? Now... here it is. I call this one The Fiddler's Ending. 'Twas the time of the era, 502. The summer evenings long, each felt brand new. When a young man walks into a tavern and shouts, "I've discovered a tunnel no one knew about." "Discovered," said he, "to lead from the temple where the druids sing low, soft and gentle." So they followed him down and into the crypt. The young man he bowed, into darkness he slipped. So they could follow the route that he took. He played on his fiddle, like fish to a hook. But halfway along the route sound did cease. It was most disturbing, the silence, the peace. No more did they see their young playing friend. No one volunteered, nor into darkness descend. No longer through tunnels are people still wending. And so ends my tale of the fiddler's ending. Well, what did you think of that? Well, you could be a tad more enthusiastic, thank you very much. I grant you it's not my greatest piece to date, but give a dog a bad bone and all that. Honestly, sometimes my genius is so powerful it hurts. Have you ever known what it's like to suffer from writer's block? Of course not, you're a diplomat. You only fill out reports. It must be so empty in that brain of yours. To lack imagination must hurt you so much. Well, how would you know to begin with? Diplomats aren't exactly the brightest of people in this land. You're all yes people. Or when someone tells you to jump, you respond with, how high? Yes, in all honesty, I doubt you'd know talent nor genius if it walked up behind you and smacked you around the head with a dead fish. I clocked you the moment I saw your gormless face approach me. Oh, so you understand sarcasm, do you? Well, at least we have some common ground to communicate upon. Don't you educate me about it being the lowest form of wit. It's all I have when you pen-pushing, desk-loving jotter-blotters are in my presence. To be frank, you're perhaps the most dim-witted, plain-faced cheesemonger of a person I have ever yet to meet. Yes, There's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted to see. Spirit. So you have some attitude in you after all. Yes, perhaps you will make a fine addition to the bardic department of the Academy after all. Are you dense? No, seriously. Are you dense? This was my way of testing you. I'm a recruiter for the Academy here in Kalle. I work with the leader of Bardic Studies. We have 5 leaders in total. The most famous of our leaders is Elina. She's a dancer. Not just any particular dancer either. Something incredibly special indeed. Oh yes. She's a belly dancer. I'm sure if you head over to the Academy, you might have opportunity to meet her. Who are the other leaders? Well, there's the Bardic leader, the leader of music study, the leader of lyrical and choral studies, and the leader of jester studies. Well, of course they have names, but I am not at liberty to tell them to you. Firstly, you are not a student, and secondly, you are not a student. What do you mean, if I'm not at liberty to tell you their names? Have I already mentioned Elina? Because she is famous across the land. Her name is synonymous with the Academy. She has danced for the monarch and their family in Ondar City. Because of this, her name is a draw to the Academy. Often students come to study belly dance under her tuition. Why is it so popular? How should I know? It's part of the culture of the desert realm. Surely you have knowledge of our culture by now. Have you ever seen such a performer? Arundella. 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 My friend, she is a diva. She believes her own publicity. There is no one greater belly dancer than Elina in the desert realm. To be honest, I wouldn't hold on to the word of a vampire. They're not exactly known for their integrity nor loyalty to their own kind nor to the culture of this land. I am aware of how close-knit a community the troop is. Indeed, but you must remember, they are first and foremost vampires, and will at most look out only for themselves. We at the Academy are a family. Family comes first in our book. You know, you really ought to find your way there, meet with one of the leaders. Perhaps they can initiate you here and now. I see potential in your eyes. Yes. You have a gift about you. A gift that could perhaps be tapped into. We shall see in due course, however. But I imagine we shall cross paths again in the future. Good luck, my friend. I wish you peace, harmony, and the love love of my homeland. May you go forth and bring light where there is darkness, hope where there is despair. This is the truth of the desert realm.
You don't know why for certain, but you have decided to take up the offer of Aric the Bard and visit the academy. You remark to yourself how splendid it looks as you catch your first sight of it. It is indeed a beautifully constructed building with light-coloured sandstone statues upon its exterior. As you approach, you spy a dark-haired female entering the building. At first glance, you believe it to be Arundella from the troop. She is certainly dressed in a similar fashion, although her hair is different in style. Like Aric, you also sense, however, that she is not a vampire either. In fact, you sense a great deal of warmth and love emanating from her aura, and from the very structure itself. Upon entering, though the building is cast in a low light, once again you feel a sense of calm and tranquility. There is no sign of hatred or anger in this building, clearly not a place where vampires would dwell. The woman you saw entering the building has noticed you and beckoned you to follow her. You do so without question, and she takes you into what you believe to be a rehearsal room. Once you are within, she speaks.
Hello. How are you? Yes, I'm Elina. Good to meet you. I am the head of the academy. Welcome. Are you alright? You seem a bit nervous. Are you in hiding? Okay. I'm sorry. I will speak to you in Kalle. They do not understand the language. I know you don't speak Kalle. I will read your mind. May I? I will read your thoughts. You must just send them to me. Send your thoughts to me from your eyes, and I will speak in Kalle, and I will read your thoughts, and you will understand everything that I say. Yes, it's a special language. Just watch ultimamente in queixa, in taifa, da conjunta, e vote la mucante, a cajala, sua tu, e já, beijante, a queixante, encaixa, encanse-te, ante vos, seca-tu, ante vos, intela, coxa, davante para, achocante, chupada, tementes, chupada, tementes, chocante, afumada, incha, l'amor, seca. Close your eyes. I understand. I understand. You are safe now. You are safe. This is a safe haven. You may stay. However, you must learn the art to stay. Yes, you must learn the dance. It will free your mind and it will cure your soul. Yes, I will teach you. The first thing you must learn is how to speak with your hands. Yes. As easy as it is to breathe, you can learn these waves. Just raise your hands up from your wrist and undulate the fingers down. Yes, from the wrists and down. That's perfect. Keep your head very still. I will adjust for you. Don't move your hand. Stay very still. Just remember the micro movements. Excellent. Just stay very still. Very still. Feel those micro movements. You're a natural. Wonderful. Yes. Wonderful. And you must learn the art of the fan veil. do with your eyes, and you will learn this dance from the inside. Just watch. Just watch. Well, my dear, once you have mastered the art of the academy, then you are free to come here and stay as long as you need. You are welcome here. I know you must continue on your journey now. Thank you for visiting and for investing time in learning the arts. It's been my honor. When you find the crown and finally put an end to the tyrant king, please come back to visit. I will love to see you again. I wish you safe travels, much love and light. Be well. Goodbye.
You never expected such an unusual offer. You wonder to yourself as you leave the academy as to why you'd ever want to become a Rakshaki. You've never enjoyed dancing, but something in the back of your mind keeps saying, why not? You decide to shake off the thought and continue your walk through the town. It's then you find yourself outside a temple. You know, however, that your mind is still clouded with questions, so perhaps it is time for a visit to receive some more answers. Kalle is known to be home to the Seers, a group of people who can help clear the mind through meditation and visualization. Perhaps they can help you clear your mind to see what you must do next. The time has come for you to find yourself once again, stepping inside a temple where you are greeted by a high-ranking seer who approaches and addresses you.
A good day to you, my friend. May I bid you a warm welcome to the Temple of the Stars. You do seem very troubled. Pray tell me, why do you appear so anxious? You don't wish to tell me. I cannot help you then. But know that this is a haven. You are under the protection of the temple. No one in authority can touch you here. Ah, so you're caught up in this sorry affair involving the crown of the Tyrant King, are you? I must say, the news travels fast, and When it reached my ears, I did not feel surprised that its discovery would indeed spark such a chain of events. I have my condolences, my friend. Perhaps I can help you. I hate to see a fellow being suffer as you are suffering. Your energy is strong in negativity. If you are willing, I can aid you in finding balance again. To locate the crown, you must be able to focus correctly. Oh my goodness. How uncivilized of me. I do apologize. I truly forget to introduce myself a lot of the time. Then allow me to make my formal introduction. My name is Avalon, and I am the Grand High Seer of the Temple of Stars. Many also know me as a Dreamweaver. No, I do not mind them using that term. I do prefer to be known as Seer, though. I am, in fact, the youngest member of this temple to ever reach the title. It usually takes decades to attain that position, but I hold to gifts and abilities that many will state are beyond my years. You seem to doubt my abilities. I would say that is understandable, considering you are not familiar with the temple, nor how we perform our services. Allow me to explain briefly. We are bound to the universe. No doubt you have visited the temple in the capital city and received a reading from one of the priests there. Well, there, they simply read the stars. We here, as I said, are bound by them. Their energy and life force flow through us. We are at one with nature, the very essence of life itself, the cycle of seasons, the energy of crystals, and the spirits of the very soil, air, and water we encounter daily, are all connected with us as one living embodiment. The goddess is our patron, and we commit our very lives to the teachings that nature has to offer us. We do not read nor write books telling people how to live their lives. We follow our own path of natural well-being. We have our own way of learning to become one with the world around us on many levels, and I can truly help you to open your mind in much the same way, as long as you permit me. I will be more than happy to help you. Perhaps first, I can relax you with a guided visualization to calm your mind. Then, we will meditate upon the matter at hand. Alright? Now, come sit with me. Yeah. Face me. Give me your hands. Give me your hands. There we go. Close your eyes. Now, I want you to focus. Breathe. Slow, calming breaths. To focus your energy and to focus you in this moment. To pinpoint you. Now close your eyes. Keep breathing. Of course, keep breathing. Breathe. Slow and steady. Focus on my voice. Focus on the resonance of the world around you, of the temple. Now I'm going to be lighting some incense. I hope you don't mind black cherry. Here we go. Now, keep focusing and breathing. Focus on the sounds you hear. Soft, gentle sounds of wind going through the chimes. what you're hearing now is a resonance. It helps center people. Keep focusing on my voice and the resonance. And I want you to go into your mind. Pick a memory, a happy one. The happy memories of your childhood. The happy memories of your parents, perhaps. Or of a love you have. If not that, just focus on any happy memory you have. Very good. Now focus. Breathe out all the negativity and focus on the feeling you felt during that moment. How warm you were. How pleasant it was to feel the warmth of your mother's hug. The firm pat of your father on your shoulder. The love that you have with your friends and family. No. In for 4, 2, 3, 4. And out for 4, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count down from 30. And when I get there, I want you to take one big inhale. Focus all the negative energy that you feel inside of you. It'll feel like a fist grabbing your heart. And then exhale. Imagining all the negative energy just flowing out. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There. Do you feel better? Well, I think we both found our inner peace during that session, didn't we? You seem very relaxed. More relaxed than you were anyway. You're certainly no longer panicking. You are more than welcome to seek shelter here. Perhaps in time, you will learn the whereabouts of the crown. You'll be able to retrieve it. However, there is one request I make of you. Please, I beseech you, when you find it, destroy it. It is an object full of dark energy that we cannot afford to have released into the world. It would corrupt all who are touched by it. The Temple of Stars was founded long before the Tyrant King rose to power. Yet, our mission remains the same, to keep evil from walking amongst the living. Yes, we are protectors of this world. We have smaller temples around the entire monarchy, from here to the city of Varuna, far in the west. We ensure the natural order is kept in balance, with the crown being found. The balance is slowly being tipped against us. I'm afraid I do not know how to destroy the crown. That, my friend, something you will need to figure out for yourself. However, there may be someone who can help you. When you reach the coastal town of Port Avalon on the border to the north, go and find a man by the name of Ulfric. He may be able to help you in your quest. I imagine the crown has crossed the border by now. You will need to return to Ondar City to find it. Of course. You are very welcome indeed, my friend. I appreciate it when visitors are open-minded to receive my help. Well, for the moment, I wish you peace, harmony, and the love of my homeland. May you walk in peace, my friend. Oh, and by the way, tell Ulfric I said hello.
With a clear mind and a purified soul, you decide to continue to find somewhere to reside during your time in the town, and perhaps escape the clutches of the troop. That's when you see a somewhat down on his luck citizen being thrown out of a house, with the occupant shouting something in a language you can't understand. You hurry over to pick them up from the ground and to help dust them off. He seems a friendly individual and invites you back to his home, having completed his work for the day. It seems he is not the most fortunate of people, and you will soon learn that luck is not everything it's made of.
Oh, it is a bit windy out there, isn't it, traveller? Of course, nothing like my former home in the desert realm. Welcome to my humble abode, traveller. I understand it's a bit messy. I'm still not quite accustomed to this life. I have a mess here, and all around the walls it actually looks Spartan somehow, doesn't it? Yes, I'm from the desert realm. I'm a traveller, like you. Well, I was, until I settled here. I've been here for quite some time now. Well, how did I come to be here? Well, you don't want to hear about that. It's a long and laborious story. You do? Really? Well, I'm just shocked. I'm surprised. No one's ever wanted to hear about how I came to be here. Well, all right then. I'll spare you certain details, but I will try to give you the best story possible. Like I said before, I'm from the desert realm. Have you ever been there yourself? No? Do you know anything about it? I didn't think so. Well, I'm from a tribe. In my tribe, we would hide in the rare, rocky outcrops from all the sandstorms. And the sandstorms there, the winds, they were brutal. But even though the conditions were brutal, I sometimes find myself truly missing the feel of sand beneath my feet in the warm desert sun. Well, like I said, I am from a tribe. My father, he was the chieftain, and my mother his concubine. Unfortunately, she passed away in childbirth, so I was raised by my grandmother, and unfortunately I feel that is where my troubles began. Oh yes, my friend. Unfortunately, my tribe has banished me. They find me to be bad luck. A very big source of it, I'm afraid. I've been plagued with misfortune ever since my birth, which is why I'm here. I was forced to settle down. I chose this town because it is quiet and unassuming. Although my enemies do hunt me here, no doubt they are in the capital right now. Only gods know why. As I alluded to earlier, I truly miss the nomadic life. My people roamed the desert for centuries. It's in my blood. It's bonded with me. I'm molded, I am shaped by the desert, and its harsh winds, and its even harsher sun. There are things I miss about it, and I constantly think about those things. Like I said, the beautiful, wonderful sand beneath my feet, or the roar of the fires at night to keep the sand lions at bay. That is why I've personally found it very difficult, very, very, very difficult to become accustomed to this life, to settle down, to maybe one day even have a family. Well, you are correct, traveler. You are very, very correct. Living in this place does have its advantages, as I'm sure you know, being a traveler yourself. A town doctor, for instance, a constant supply of water, stores with which to buy food. I do miss the joy of the hunt, however. That is for certain. But, of course, you have to pay for these services. Nothing in this town is for free, as it maybe probably should be. You know, considering the vast amount of effort and resources it takes in order to procure many of the items here. Of course, I've had to take up a job here, you know, as I've said, nothing is for free here. What do? Well, I am a rent collector. Not an exceedingly popular job, I know. I have received much in the way of threats, verbal abuse, even physical abuse at times. That's one of the reasons why it's been so hard to settle here. Sometimes I have nightmares about it at night. It haunts me. But what else am I going to do? I came to this place uneducated. I've never, outside of my tribe, I've never held an actual, job at a place of employment before. So, being that I come from a desert roaming people, I have been toughened by the elements. So something like a rent collector just seemed, well, right up my alley, as they say in the city. Well, as I've said before, traveler, I blame most of my current life situation to misfortune, to bad luck, whatever you want to call it. Well, it seems that my mother was cursed by a sorcerer. His name has been long forgotten, and that, I believe, is the source of my misfortune. For when he was executed, right before he was executed, he laid a curse upon my mother that any descendant originated, born of her, would be cursed with bad luck for all eternity. Well, my father dismissed it, ultimately, and my childhood years actually were quite uneventful. I learned to hunt, I learned to sword fight, I learned all of the essential skills that a nomad must learn in order to survive in the desert. So, my childhood years, I remember, filled with joy, although loss, the pain of never truly knowing who my mother was. The elders of the tribe, however, considered her death to be the start, the very beginning of the tribe's misfortune. Oh yes, my father passed away, and the elders, being superstitious and afraid of this curse, would not agree to my becoming leader of the tribe. My uncle instead took on that role, which ultimately I wasn't upset about. I really did not want to be the leader anyway. It was really at this point in time that, unfortunately, disaster struck, and the true depth of this curse showed its ugly face. At first, we were hit by a group of desert marauders, a bunch of ruffians that were hell-bent on ransacking anything in their sight, stealing all that they may. And then, oddly enough, the wells of water that we knew and trusted upon to provide us with life-giving water were all dried up, inexplicably. And what's worse, the visions. That's when the visions started. This terrible face would come upon us all in our sleep and haunt our dreams. And then it was known. The crown of power, they shouted. I didn't know what it meant. Well, ultimately speaking, this is very odd. The face I saw in my visions was not the same face that the elders saw. But I never had the courage to speak up. You may have guessed that the face that they saw in their visions was mine own. So they were left with two options, only two. They could execute me, or they could banish me in shame, become a settler. If my uncle had been any bit sympathetic, he would have had me executed. I see the look on your face, traveler. I know what you're thinking. How could it be better to be executed than to be banished in shame? Well, let me tell you, traveler, this life here, it's no life for a nomad. To be stuck in one place, to never be able to travel the world, to never be able to see my homeland again. I'm cut off from the desert. I'm cut off from my family and all of my ancestry. Everything I had is lost. Therefore, traveler, to me, it is a fate worse than death. Even upon my death, now, I cannot be buried within the desert sands, as is per the tradition of the nomadic people. For our traditions state that when a nomad dies, that nomad is to be buried in the desert amongst the sands, to become sand ourselves, the very essence of the desert. And now, what is to be my fate? Well, now I will be treated in the quote-unquote Ondarian manner. Apparently it is the new governor's edict in order to civilize this region. And I don't even know what to say about that, traveler. I'm lost for words. Well, I know what you're saying, traveler, and I do understand that there are advantages, which we talked about earlier, in living in a town. However, it is just not for me. It is not the nomad's way of life. But say, you're with the troop, aren't you? Do you think they could have use for someone like me? I'm very good with my hands, and I promise to stay out of their way until they need me, of course. It wouldn't be a nomadic life, but it would be a traveler's life, and at the very least, I could see the world again. So please, traveler, do an old nomad a favor, and please, put in a good word for me with them when you see them. Put in a good word with their leader, Tanith, I believe her name is. How long will they be staying here again? 5 days is plenty, long enough. If you could put in a good word with them for me, for an old nomad, I will be eternally grateful to you, traveler. You will? Oh, bless you, traveler. That warms an old nomad's heart. Please, I do not wish to keep you any longer, please. I've kept you long enough, regaling you with tales of my past. So for now, my new and good friend, I wish you good health, long life, and of course, the best of fortune in all of your travels. and I will be seeing you hopefully sooner rather than later. Goodbye, my friend. May you go forth, my friend, and bring light where there is darkness, hope where there is despair. This is the truth of my people, the truth of the desert realm. Fare thee well, friend.
Having reluctantly agreed to take Nero along with you on your journey, you decide to finish your walk around the town. Though you will introduce him to the troop, you are now wondering if Kalle is as dangerous a place as you first imagined. If the peacekeepers really are not occupying the town, it must be far safer for you than anywhere. You could always flee if the group you met with do show up after all. It's then your eye is once more drawn to the shadows. From the corner of your eye you catch a glimpse of a hooded figure with a mask hiding their face. They seem to be beckoning you. At first you try your best to ignore them, but their persistence pays off. You find yourself standing in their presence, but not before they have to attract your attention one final time.
Psst! Oi, friend! Yes, you! Come over here, quickly now. No. Over here, in the alleyway. Yes, that's right. Here you come. Well, now we can speak. But keep it down. You don't want to draw any unwanted attention, after all. Who knows what the city guard would think of you associating with the Shadow Court? Oh, why must I show my face to gain your trust? My friend, you are too bold, asking me to reveal myself to you on our first meeting. No, I shall not show you my face, nor do I feel inclined to explain myself on the issue. Suffice to say that none have ever seen my true appearance, and you shall certainly not be the first. Aha. Oh. Merely curious. Ah, my friend, that is far the worse motive. Did you not learn as a child what curiosity made of the cat? No, I suggest you keep your curiosity to yourself. There are many who would not be as patient or understanding as I, and I would hate to see your life ended over something so petty as idle curiosity. Oh. No. A threat? I am not threatening you, my friend. I simply offer some friendly advice. If you wish to continue breathing, keep your mouth firmly shut. You are so full of questions. My patience begins to wear thin, friend. You do not want it to run out. And yes, that is a threat. Ah, good. I am glad to see that you are capable of learning, though it takes longer than I should like. Still, I am certain that we can be of use to each other, so I am willing to tolerate this flaw in your character. I understand that you are a traveler. Is this correct? Shh. Don't respond. A simple nod will suffice. Excellent. Well, traveler, no doubt you have noticed the increase in guards at the border crossing. Yes, I can see that you have. An unfortunate situation, is it not? Especially for one who has need to cross the border quietly. It has required me to get creative about how I move items across the border. And that's where you come in. Perhaps I need to spell it out for you. The guards are on high alert because someone stole the crown of the Tyrant King from the governor's palace in the capital. I can't imagine who could have been so foolish, and I'd very much like to get my hands on them. After all, they are responsible for a significant inconvenience to me. You see, the consequence of the theft is not merely that there are more guards. No, no, no. It also means that the guards are taking their duties far too seriously. They're doubling down on stopping and searching those they deem suspicious, and they are resistant to bribery and other forms of motivation. This is, as I said, a great inconvenience to me, as I cannot afford for them to find the items I am moving across the border. Let's just say it is a cargo far more precious than gold. I am disappointed, friend. I thought you had learned not to ask questions. See this blade? It's beautiful, is it not? When the light catches its edge just so. Yes, it is sharp, isn't it? But well used, I assure you. Yes, it is a beautiful thing. You should take care that I do not begin to think that your chest is in need of adornment. Right there, between the 5th and 6th ribs. But I trust that we can remain friends if you heed this warning. Do not speak again. Now, where was I? Ah, right. The great inconveniences I have recently suffered. Oh yes, inconveniences, plural. As you may or may not have guessed, I often steer the most sensitive cargoes away from the official border crossings, even under normal circumstances. I believe you have met my associate, Rafiq, have you not? A resourceful rogue, but alas, he has betrayed my trust. My spies tell me he has fallen in with Lord Volkov in Necrotia, and now serves the vampires. Vampires! Disgusting creatures. Rafiq will be dealt with in due course. Unless Maximus of the troop catches up with him first, in which case Rafiq can count himself lucky. The beast tamer would be far more hospitable than I would. Oh, I assure you, the Shadow Court suffers neither failure nor betrayal to stand unpunished. The details of the punishment are made to fit the particulars of the crime, and Rafiq has earned himself an incredibly slow and agonizing end. In the meantime, however, the vampires now control Rafiq's network of smugglers, who in turn control most of the possible routes across the border. I simply cannot allow such competition to damage the reputation of the Shadow Court. We are often hired by nobles and merchants alike to help them acquire such pleasantries and riches as cannot be got through more legitimate means. We have rules, of course, rules which the vampires seem all too willing to ignore. They will take anything and everything across the border, even people. Are you surprised that the Shadow Court has a code of conduct? We do, and Rafiq has broken this code. These unfortunate circumstances leave me in the unusual position of requiring an unaffiliated agent. Which brings me at last to the business I have for you. I have a reliable client who has asked me to deliver a few parcels across the border for them, the contents of which are none of your concern. You will take them across the northern section of the border to Port Allen. There you must find an inn called the Marked Man. The Marked Man. Got it? You will ask the innkeeper for a pint of Tivishon's Special. That's Tivishon's Special. This is a code phrase. He will take you to meet Gabriel Tivishon, my contact in the Undarian monarchy. He is, I'd say, my equivalent on that side of the border. The only real difference being that he is even less forgiving than I. Oh, you seem surprised. Again, perhaps you consider my plans for Rafiq to be cruel. I will at least permit Rafiq a last request before he meets the Creator. Tivishon has no use for such civilities. Once you have delivered the package, you are to head to the town of Taros. I have another contact there who has requested that I send whomever I recruit for the first job to visit them, as they have a little job of their own for you. No, I don't know what the job is, but I imagine it must be important. Whatever it is, I wouldn't suggest dawdling. It doesn't do to anger a necromancer, after all. Oh, don't look so horrified, my friend. Have you already forgotten that you're dealing with the Shadow Court? We are happy to provide our services to all who can pay our rates. Oh, my friend. I see the way your eyes light up at the mention of payment. Oh, do you imagine that you will be compensated in coin for this work? Oh, no. Your compensation is a safe route across the border, and whatever you can beg, borrow, or steal along the way, of course. Oh, you think this deal unfair, perhaps? I suppose it might be, but Corvus didn't get where he is today by playing fair. You are to be complimented on your silence, my friend, but I nonetheless tire of your company. Return to this spot an hour after sunset to collect the package, and then make for Port Allen immediately. Yes, it will be slower going at night, of course, but still I think the fastest route across the border open to you. Oh, and don't worry about the troop. They know you're under the Shadow Court's protection as long as you have the package. And besides, they lost interest in your presence days ago. I believe I heard Maximus saying, "That one will never make it as an acrobat." Are you surprised that I know Maximus? You seem to be surprised by a great many things, my friend. How did you think I learned he's looking for Rafiq? Ah, my friend, you should be glad that I found some use for you. I'm afraid you're really not bright enough to have found any other way into the monarchy. I imagine that we shall cross paths again, my friend, and I truly hope you have accomplished your mission to my satisfaction when we do. For if you fail to complete this simple task, I will have no choice but to think that you have betrayed my trust. And, well, you are aware by now of how the Shadow Court deals with traitors. But for now we must part. I leave you with the traditional farewell of this land. I wish you peace, harmony, and the love of my homeland. As you go forth, may you bring light where there is darkness, hope where there is despair. This is the truth of the desert realm. I bid you farewell, my friend.
So, reluctantly, you have your task. At least it will get you over the border and into the monarchy. However, it will be a treacherous journey. Though the most direct route to Port Allen is directly along the border, you know that there will be troops searching for you and the now lost crown. The only way will be to travel up through the desert itself to Port Cole, and to take passage upon a trading ship which will travel along the coast. This will not be easy. It is several days through the desert to reach the port, and without the aid of the troop, you will have to risk travelling alone. With this in mind, you pack a bag and leave a note to Anira, along with payment for her services. On your way out of the town, you leave a note under Nero's door to let him know you have left. With it, you leave a letter of introduction for him to hand to the troop. You've stayed in Kalle for far too long, and though you feel confident, you know that your enemies will catch up eventually. It's safer for everybody if you are no longer there. With a heavy heart, you begin to walk into the desert, and hopefully towards the safety of